Holy moly, Batman! So what is up, guys? I'm Cool40 here. We're going to be covering a couple of interesting deck profiles out of this weekend. The first list we're going to be looking at is my friend Cloud's, or Kurbachan's, deck profile. And he went to the Altoona Regional. He finished alright in terms of everything, but I told him for getting out of the house and going to his first event, we would cover his Magical Musket list for everybody. So, let's dig on into this. So we have triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, one copy of Calamity, we have triple copies of Caspar, two copies of Doc, one copy of Kid Brave, triple copies of Starfire, and then one copy of the one Magical Musketeer Wild. Now, this card gets a little bit better the longer that the game goes. I'm not a super big fan of including this in the deck. It is another level 4 target that you do get access to spam kill your opponent with Utopia, so that is important to recognize. Then we have the one copy of Toon Cyber Dragon, triple copies of Called by the Grave, one Double or Nothing, two copies of Cross Domination, two Steady Hands, triple copies of X-Trab, triple Ties with Brethren, and we were playing the triple copies of the Toon Table of Contents. Now, he did say when he was discussing his deck with me that the Toon Cyber Dragon for the Chimera Techs was actually quite beautiful. Being able to fully resolve these, stunt the opponent's growth, all was because of Toon Table. Also, hitting a Toon Table off of your, start your combo off of your Starfire, or, your Caspar, is really good in terms of the way that the metagame is going right now. Traps, we have two Dancing Needle, two Desperado, one Fiendish Deal, and triple copies of Last Stand. Triple Last Stand does feel a little bit heavy at 3, but I get why we're playing it and maximize numbers. Extra deck down here, we have triple copies of Magical Musketeer Max, one copy of Unicorn, one Hip Hoshigan, one Boral Sword, one Utopia Double, and one Utopia, one Abyss Dweller, one copy of the Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, two copies. We have one Dragostapelia, one Diplexer, one Mega Fleet, and one copy of Fortress Dragon, wrapping up the extra. And then side deck here, we have triple Lancia, triple Pankratops, triple Nibiru, triple copies of Hadoken, and triple copies of Super Polymerization, wrapping up this relatively interesting deck profile. I do like the possible inclusion of Toon Table in this deck, giving you more options going down your skill trees and things like that. Also, being able to set up for more combo-oriented things is really cool. And then we have a going second Cyber Dragon Orcust list for everybody coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. This was actually sent to me by Trey Alice, and he said, Robbie, if you could, would you cover this? I was like, all right, let's see what you got going on here. So he did make top 8 with this. So we have one copy of Armageddon Knight, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, two copies of Naxter, one Dark Grapher, two copies of Effect Veiler, two copies of Phantasmi. I really am liking the splash numbers here. The 2-2 here. Pretty good. We have one copy of Gizmek, triple copies of Mathematician, two copies of Symbol Skeleton, triple Heart Pour, two Orcust Nightmare, and the one copy of the World Wando. And then spells, we have one Foolish Burial, triple copies of Mind Control, one Babel, two copies of Orchestrated Return. 2 seems to be about the right number for this. I'm not a huge fan of trying to maximize this and play 3, because it is a once per turn. But I mean, I guess the end phase, or good thing is under the field spell, you can bring this out during the end phase of your opponent's turn, and then go ahead and combo up with it. So it's pretty good for that regard. We have one Rhoda, triple copies of Super Poly, and two Twin Twister. Traps, triple Imperm, and one copy of Crescendo, wrapping up the main deck here. Down here in the extra deck, we have one copy of Zero Boros. The TCG is finally starting to adapt towards this, which is a good thing. This card is insane for what it actually grants to these decks. Imagine if we had Fairy Tale Snow allowed at this point, where you could just, go Zero Boros and Gizmek literally in the same deck. Let that sink in, ladies and gentlemen. We have one Topological Bomber Dragon, one Longrisu, one Unicorn, one Phoenix, one copy of IP, triple copies of Galatea, one copy of Boral Sword. Then we have two Dingrisu, one Starving Venom, one Dragostapelia, and one copy of Mega Fleet, wrapping up the extra deck here. Side deck, triple Lancia, triple Pankratops, triple Nibiru, triple copies of Call by the Grave, two Galaxy Cyclone, and one copy of Twin Twister, wrapping up the actual deck here. So congratulations on actually doing so well with this deck. It's a very interesting pace, just seeing the key differences between going first and going second in today's metagame. I think it's a good thing. Now, last list we have here is some love for Tenyi. Now, I saw that this deck ended up top 32ing its regional, and I was like, wow, we have pure Tenyi out of, what was it, Moshelbach? I don't know, I'm terrible with names. But anyway, Tenyi is one of these decks that kind of sits on the back burner, and people are like, huh, can we actually make that good? Well, evidently we can. So I have 2 copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 copy of Mare. So, being a worm actually has beautiful interactions with this deck. Like, this card is so good. I mean, obviously being able to bring it off of a worm is really good, but let's be honest, still, card's amazing. We have 2 copies of Nibiru, 1 copy of Phantom Skyblaster, triple copies of Ardahara, triple copies of Asuna, and then we have the 1 Mapula, the 1 Nahara, and the triple copies of Sathana with the triple Vishuddha, wrapping up the monster lineup here. And then we have 2 Called by the Grave, 2 copies of the Flawless Perfection of the Tenyi. I mean, you say it's flawless, but they're all normal monsters. We have 2 copies of Pot of Desires, 1 Scapegoat, and triple copies of Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. Then we have triple copies of Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Being able to just watch this get popped and you bring something out of your extra deck, like, this card is literal free value, and a lot of players underestimate this. We have triple Lost Wind, 1 Skill Drain, and triple copies of Waterfall of Dragon Souls. Actual good synergy, by the way. I actually forgot Waterfall existed for a hot minute. Thanks, True Draco, for reminding me. Then we have extra deck down here. We have 2 copies of Shaman of the Tenyi, 1 copy of Security Dragon, triple copies of Monk of the Tenyi, 1 Link Kuriboh, 1 Link Spider, 1 Land Phonicus, 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 copy of the Draco Masters of the Tenyi, 2 copies of Berserker, 1 Appaloosa, and 1 copy of the Dragon Berserker. Side deck here we have triple Ansia, triple Seer Mode, triple System Down, triple Twin Twister, and triple copies of Summon Limit. Wrapping up the Tenyi deck profile, getting top 32 out of its regional. So, relatively interesting card choices on this, putting more of a spin on what we've kind of seen and know out of this format. Once again, pushing those cultural norms that we've kind of, you know, been attached to for so long for these decks. Like, it's a nice change of pace. And the last deck here is True Draco Orcust. This deck ended up topping its regional and getting an invite with it. And when Lund was telling me that, he was like, yeah, this deck got its invite. I'm like, how? Like, I mean, when Mermaid was around, sure, but like, we're doing this again. So, we have 1 copy of Armageddon Knight, triple copies of Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, 1 copy of Dino Might. We have 2 copies of Phantasme, 1 Gizmek, 2 copies of Ignis Heat, 1 Majesty Maiden, and triple copies of Mathematician, with 2 Nibiru, 2 Symbol Skeleton, triple Harp Horror, 2 copies of Orcust Nightmare, and the 1 copy of the World Wando. And then spells, we have 2 copies of Disciples, triple copies of Dragonic Diagram, 1 Babel, 1 Afterburners, by the way, 1 Hornet Drones, triple Engage, 1 Terraforming, and 1 Heritage. No Widow Anchor, by the way. I don't know what's up with that. I guess he just didn't like it. And then we have 1 Crescendo, 2 Apocalypse, and 1 True King's Return. I definitely would want to consider Widow Anchor, I think, to maybe some degree. I guess on the interaction level, it doesn't quite do anything, especially if you're, like, setting up for revival. But I get it. Down here in the extra deck, we have 1 Kagari, 1 Longbisu, 1 Unicorn, 1 Phoenix, and 1 Cerberus. Triple Galtea, 1 Decode Talker, actually. 1 Boral Sword and 1 Boral Ode. 2 Dingrisu, 1 Starving Venom, and 1 Mud Dragon. And then we have triple Lancia, triple Super Poly, triple Twin Twister, triple Evenly Matched, and triple copies of There Can Only Be One, wrapping up this chunk of deck profiles for everybody. So what do you guys think about these? Like, True Draco Orcust just seems really bad. But, I mean, it did its job. Magical Muskets came out pretty alright this weekend. Same thing with a lot of these other decks. But I don't know. What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think about this chunk of deck profiles. And, well, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Deucerino. The ride never, well, truly ends. Thank you, patrons. Without you guys, I don't know what I'd be wearing in these videos. I might be a truffle shuffle incident all over again. Guys, please also check out Vanquil40 for some awesome Vanguard content. Some other interesting stuff you might find up here on the left or in the description as well. Thanks for watching.